Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Diana and in today's video we are going to tune into the energies of the new moon of September 17, 2020. So the new moon marks a beginning of a new lunar cycle which lasts approximately for 28 days. And this is a perfect opportunity that we have been given every single month to plan the month ahead, to set our intention and think about what it is that we would like to create in our lives and invite in our lives. And this is exactly my intention for this video, to give you some guidance and insight on the new moon of September 17. And this reading is going to be divided into two parts. First, I will tune into the more general, more collective energies, and I will give you an overview of the lessons and challenges and also opportunities that you could be dealing with in the next 28 days. So if you feel that that's enough for you, you can just watch that part of the video, take what resonates and leave the rest. But if you would like to receive more specific guidance relative to more specific areas of your life, you will also be given a chance to pick one of the four piles, so one of the four readings that will go deeper into those specific aspects and details that you could be dealing with specifically. But of course, bear in mind that this is still a general reading. So if you already have your intentions for this new moon, that you know what you want to manifest, then see how the message that you will receive today adds to that, what you should modify, what you should do with your dreams and goals in order to create the best results. But of course, you can always use those messages as inspiration just to see what's coming your way, what could be the opportunities for you and what you could do with them. And also what challenges could be there for you. Okay, so this is what we are going to do today, and let me now go ahead and see what's coming up for you. Hi and welcome back. So this is the general part of the reading, and let's see what's coming up. So you have the Nine of Coins, you have the Lovers, the Moon, Thunderbolt, and Mind. Okay, so I do have a feeling that this new moon could bring about two very different energies, and we could find ourselves in two very different states of being. And the main challenge is to integrate that and to understand that it is actually two sides of the same coin. So let me explain what I mean by that. On one hand, you have this Nine of Coins card. So this is the Nine of Pentacles, and this is about your self-esteem, about your possessions, what you possess, about your values, and what you own. So it is both an internal and external thing, because how you value yourself is reflected in your external environment. You attract those things that you value, and also you create conditions in your life and circumstances in your life that reflect your self-value. So how you think about yourself, how your self-esteem, how confident you are, and how deserving you feel of having the good things in life, or vice versa. Maybe you don't feel deserving. So Nine of Coins is about that. And generally it's about having this solid and very well established self-confidence, that you truly value yourself and you know that you deserve to have things of high quality in your life. So definitely quality is a key word here with the Nine of Coins. You know who you are, and you know exactly what it is that you sign up for, because you know what serves you and what doesn't, And that is how you express that inner knowing of your inherent value that you have. But then on the other hand, you also have the moon card. And this is a very mystical card, very mystical energy. And oftentimes it's associated with fear, with uncertainty and doubt. So there are certain aspects of your life, of your current circumstances that you don't fully understand, or it could be something that is coming up, bubbling up from your subconscious that you don't know what it is. Maybe it could be some suppressed fear and now it's coming up and you understand, you kind of realize that it's there, but you don't really know what to do about that. And it's hard. So Nine of Coins on one hand, that everything is clear, everything is well established there, and you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what you're after, and you know what you will and won't allow to happen. But the Moon card is creating this doubt, this self-doubt. Is it really true? Is the reality really what it looks like? What else could be there? What could be hiding there? Are there any threats that I should be aware of? So these all could be things that are coming up with the Moon card. And in between those two cards is the Lovers. And I think that this is speaking about marrying your shadow. So you do have your conscious personality, your conscious mind, your the way you present yourself in the world, and that is all represented by this Nine of Coins card. But here is your shadow, and it exists as well, and maybe it even takes up more space than your conscious part, and it wants to be integrated, it wants to be seen by you, and it wants to be understood by you. And the Lovers card is kind of uniting them. You consist of both light and darkness, and that is the way you are. And your challenge for this next new moon is to realize that and to bring that shadow in and integrate it into your conscious life. But that could be very challenging, and that's precisely why I'm speaking about those two very different experiences or energies that we could find ourselves in this month. Because here you have the Thunderbolt and also the Mind. And well, both of them, if you look closer at the artwork of this card, there is this sense of danger and alert, and that something is tumbling down, and there is a lot of anxiety involved and a lot of fear involved. And that is often the case when we try to make sense of what's going on with us, but we just cannot do that because things just don't make any sense at all. With the Thunderbolt energy, we can expect sudden revelations. So it could be on a mental level, so we could finally come to an understanding of some sort. We could finally realize something that's been going on, and now we can see it. And our old worldview sort of comes tumbling down, and it's no longer there, and we know how faulty it has been. And now that truth has shown itself to us, and we must accept it, and we must find a way to incorporate it in our lives. So we must find a way to marry that, to bring that truth in and start living in accordance with those new rules that will be created by us once we finally know what is and what is not true and real for us. But also with the Thunderbolt card, it could be that we experience sudden physical disruptions. Something just doesn't work out in our lives. There could be sudden breakups, or yes, maybe something that we might even call as tragic or catastrophic? Well, it depends on your individual experiences and how resistant you are to change, because the more resistant you are to change, which is always brought about the thunderbolt or the tower energy, that is the tower card in the traditional tarot, the more resistant you are to that change, the harder it is for you to actually do that and go through that change, because it will be done for you and you will be left at the mercy of that situation that you will find yourself in. So it's definitely better if you initiate the change as opposed to let it be catalyzed by some outside forces and external influences. You don't want that because it will be more painful. So yes, with the thunderbolt, it could be tricky, and that is the scary part of this card. That is why we don't want to see it, because we don't want to lose control. We don't want to feel pain. We don't want to suffer. But we must also remember that we don't need to suffer at all. If we are honest with ourselves and if we listen to those undercurrents that are surfacing from our psyche, from the depths of our being, then we already know what's there, and we can start to prepare for the change beforehand, and we can start to bring it in ourselves, and then there is no need for those external things to happen, because we already work with that. But indeed, that could be challenging, and the mind card is here to tell you about that, because mind wants to control things. Mind wants to know exactly how everything will unfold, what is the precise sequence of all the things, and if I do this, I will get that result. If I do that, I will get this result, and that is what mind wants. That is what makes us safe. And every time we cannot track that sequence of events, or every time we feel that there is something unknown that we will be facing, it's hard, and we try to figure things out desperately. And the more we hold on to that safety of knowing something, the more desperate we become, the more resistant we become, and the harder it is for us to have that inner peace and trust in the natural course of events and of our lives. So you could be really, really stressed this month, I must say, with the thunderbolt and the mind, because if you resist and reject that more mysterious information that is bubbling up from your own inner space, you will have some hard time, or at least there is a pretty good chance that you will struggle. But please bear in mind that nothing bad is going to happen to you, because the nature of those events and of that information that is coming to you is definitely not to put you down or to destroy you or hurt you in any way. It's a very important and valid information. And as I said, your job is to integrate that, to bring it over to the conscious side, into the light, so that you can look at it and see what it is. And it's about finding another lost fragment of yourself. There are aspects of you that you have lost a long, long time ago, and you go through your life, on your life's journey, and you keep collecting those aspects back up. You keep integrating them, and that is how you become whole again, and that is how you learn about yourself and how you truly live and express your life's purpose. So that is exactly the main lesson of this new moon, so that this becomes a conscious part of you, and you know that this is who you are. This adds to your value. And I will repeat that. It adds to your value and not takes away from that. So whatever scary things are going down here, whatever scary things you will encounter in this new moon, please always remember that there are valuable things and valuable lessons to be extracted from those things, from those events, and that will only add to you. You will get stronger, you will get more fuller as a person, and you will be able to develop this sense of groundedness and confidence, and also work on your inner strength. And you will feel like a more complete person once you are done with this lesson. It will bring you closer to who you actually are. It will be like a course correction for you. And you will find another missing part of you if only you don't resist what's coming your way. Okay, so this is the general message and the general overview of this new moon. Yes, it's a bit scary, but please take heart and don't be afraid. You have what it takes to face that, to cope, to deal with that, and to really blossom. Because that is precisely the purpose of all this stuff going on, to make you blossom, to make you beautiful, and to help you step into your authentic power. Okay, so that's it. This is the general message. And now, if you would like to, you can pick one of the 4 additional messages that will give you additional details about how to channel this more general energy into specific areas of your life. And here you can see the 4 piles of cards for you to choose from. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, number 3, and pile number 4. Go ahead and pause this video right here if you need to. Pick your pile and then take a look at the timestamps below to get straight to your message. Okay, so this is message 1 for those of you who picked the first pile of cards. And here you have the 6 of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and Control. So, how can that more general message be narrowed down to a more specific area of your life? Group number 1. So, I do have a feeling that this new moon for you could be specifically about the way you present yourself in the world or are seen in the world. The 6 of Wands is traditionally about success and victory, but in this particular tarot deck, it is more about giving a sort of a performance and being observed or watched by other people. So in this act of presenting something and or showing up in a certain way and being observed by others, there are 2 elements present. The first one is the way you show up, the way you show yourself. What is your energy? What is the message that you personally convey? And on the receiving end, there is your viewer, your observer, and they are judging you. They are essentially forming an opinion about you, and they are seeing you in a certain light relative to their own beliefs and assumptions about what is right and wrong, what is good and bad. And this interaction is inevitable whenever you put yourself out there and whenever you are exposed or seen by other people. They will think something of you. Either they will decide that they like you, or that they dislike you, or that they are indifferent about you and they just don't care about what it is that you have to offer or want to share. So whenever you put yourself out there, you have to take into account all these possibilities and everything in between. And I think that those 2 cards, the Queen of Cups and the Control card, are the ones that are inviting you to think about how you show up, And what is that standard you want to measure yourself up to? Either you want to be honest and authentic, and that is the message you convey, and that is how you show yourself up, and that is how you are known by other people, or you want to live in accordance to their standards, you want to please them, or you just don't want to be criticized, you don't want to get that negative feedback. So you do your best to avoid that, but the cost you pay is your authenticity, your truth. So when we look at the Queen of Cups card, so this is, she's very emotional, very empathetic, and also very pure and honest and open, as indicated by those white roses. So that's that innocence and purity. This is who I am. I cannot help but be myself, and you can like me or dislike me, but you have to accept me for what I am, because I accept myself for what I am. And here we come back to that Nine of Coins, which also presents a rose in the artwork of this card. So yes, indeed, this is who I am. And as I already mentioned in that general message, that you add even more value to yourself if you understand your truth. And the Queen of Cups is inviting you to communicate your truth. She's asking you to be open, to be honest, and really speak what's in your heart. Because the Queen of Cups is very tightly connected with her heart, with her intuition, and she's a very loving, caring, and kind being. And you do have all those qualities in your heart, and you can express them. It's only a matter of feeling safe to express that. It's a matter of feeling, of allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Because whenever you speak your truth, whenever you open up your heart, you become vulnerable. You expose yourself. You expose yourself to that judgment and that criticism, and maybe even pain if people attack you in some way, and that is always the risk with this card. And the other option you have is don't go down that road, but choose to avoid the pain at any cost and choose to live in a way that earns as little of the negative feedback as possible. But then you also have to please other people, and that is that Control card. You want your life to be perfect from the outside. You want every corner to be straight and polished, and you just want to seem perfect so that people don't find any flaws in you, and there is nothing for them to pick on, nothing that they can find less than perfect, and so criticize you. This is your other alternative. But if you try to create that perfection and live according to that perfection, you lose your authenticity. You are no longer speaking your heart. You are no longer connecting with your heart. And it's very hard to be connected to your heart and still lead such a lifestyle, because it's so inauthentic and so false that you will end up hating yourself for that. And again, if we go back to this general message that I gave you a minute ago, you have that struggle between your mind, the way you want things to be, the way you think things should be, and then your actual truth that is surfacing with the Moon card. And it does seem that in this new moon, there will be situations where you have to express yourself in some way, and then you will be offered a choice to either follow your mind and do what your mind is intended to do, and create that illusion about yourself the way you want to project yourself onto the world. Or you can also say what's really on your mind, and by that I mean what's in your heart. And then you risk to be vulnerable. So this could be the challenge specifically for you if you picked the first pile of cards, and how you integrate that general energy and how you marry your shadow is about the way you present yourself in the world. That outer image that you create about yourself. It makes me want to think about Instagram, which is so often criticized for creating that false outlook on other people's lives. They want to be perfect, they want to be seen as perfect, and they want to be seen as leading perfect lives. And that is definitely an option for you here. But then you must ask yourself if you are willing to pay the price for keeping up with this image. Because maybe that Thunderbolt card we had in the general message is exactly about that, about this false image breaking down and your truth being revealed. And that is that shock and that scary moment you must integrate and deal with. Because at the end of the day, it is your chance to become more authentic and take a step closer to yourself if you also start expressing and living that authenticity. And if that is that image you project to the world, then you will like yourself better, I promise. Okay, so this is your message. If you picked the first pile of cards, I truly hope that you found it helpful. And dare to be happy, dare to be yourself, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Bye bye. Okay, now message number 2 for those of you who picked the second pile of cards. And let's see what we have going on. So, you have the 5 of Wands. You have another 5, the 5 of Swords. And Success. Okay, so when it comes to your new moon of September 2020, there could be some conflict and some disagreement going on for you, indicated by those 2 5s, since 5s in tarot is all about that. It's about imbalance, about having conflicts, and about really putting in the work to sort that all out. Here in this card, there is this person traveling down this path, and they are being observed and watched by this creature. They are sort of suspicious and observing this person and trying to figure out what is on his mind and is he a threat or not. And so for you, it suggests that you may similarly be suspicious about other people, about their agendas, and you may be trying to find out whether you can trust other people or not, or vice versa. It could be that other people are suspicious about you in some way, and basically it creates this energy of competition, distrust, maybe even a rivalry, and those 2 cards send off this vibe that you may be navigating through some pretty hostile environment in this new moon. So that is something that you are dealing with. And the 5 of Swords is pretty much a card of having conflicts and really harsh disagreements. So it seems that there could be some areas in your life or some aspects about your relationships where you just simply cannot find common ground with the other person or the group of people that you may be interacting with in some setting, whether it's a work environment or it's your personal relationship or perhaps your family. So you just cannot get along with them. And this card, the Success, I think for you it clearly signifies that your success in the next 28 days is to find out and figure out for yourself whether it's really worth trying to fix something in this relationship or whatever interaction it is for you, and try to make it work. Because maybe the real success is to admit that it won't work, no matter how much energy you put into it, how much you work on trying to solve those issues. Because sometimes it is the only way out is to agree to disagree. Because there could be aspects, maybe the whole relationship, maybe certain areas of a particular relationship where you are simply not compatible, where your needs are simply too different. And maybe sometimes the trust between you is so damaged that nothing you do can fix it. And sometimes the best thing to do is to understand it and just let it go. And that is the positive aspect of the Five of Swords, because once we let go and release those empty battles that we may be sometimes fighting on, we gain freedom. So if we go back to the general message, then perhaps this understanding, this revelation that is coming to you with the Thunderbolt card is precisely about that. That maybe there are some things in your relationships or a certain area of your life that simply cannot be fixed in any other way as to just simply let go of them. Let them be the way they are, but you move on. You move on and you live your life and you do your thing, and you just you stop investing your energy and your attention on this going on. Because there will always be this, can I really trust you? Will you let me down? Will you hurt me in some way? It's too much. It's just too much, and it cannot be healed in any other way. At least currently in this setting, it cannot be healed in any other way but to just let it be and just focus away from that. You can see that this tiger here is actually stepping away from those two cards, from this situation. And this person sitting on the tiger, they feel victorious, they feel proud and good about themselves. They have their own thing going on, and they don't really waste their energy focusing on things that they cannot be successful at. So whenever you feel that there is something about your relationships or some area of your life where you just cannot be successful no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, it's best to simply walk away. You may have this need to hold on to that situation and to fix that situation here with this mind card from the general message. And it could be really hard and even shocking for you to come to this realization that, oh, it won't work. It really won't work. But then if you remember the general message, then it's all about you. It's all about what brings value, what adds value to you as a person, as an individual, and what makes you stronger in yourself. So if you think that you depend on this person or this group of people in some way, it's that false assumption that you have made up in your mind, because it's not true at all. You don't need them in order to be successful. You can not only survive, but thrive, which is so perfectly shown here in this card. You see the posture of this person here. They really feel like they rule the world, that the world is at their feet, and that is the mindset that you should adopt. Yes, it could be hard, it could be painful to let this go and to just admit that all that energy put into this situation will never pay off, and it will never reward you with some good outcome here in this setting, in this relationship. But please remember that you don't need that. The fear that is coming up for you is to realize your own strength, your own power, and your own independence and autonomy to just get things done yourself, to achieve things yourself, and to really increase your value in the way you look at yourself. Once you move through this, you will have increased your self-respect. The way you look at yourself, the way you respect yourself, you will realize that, oh, maybe indeed I am more than I allowed myself to think before. Maybe indeed I can choose and I can pick the environment I want to be in. I can pick the people I want to interact with, and I don't need to sell myself short or settle for less than I actually deserve. And here again we come to the Lover's card. And that is exactly that message that you should send yourself. You should not settle for less than you deserve. Don't fight those empty battles because they will not give you any satisfaction. They will only keep you smaller than you actually are, and they will prevent you from having this realization and understanding that, yes, it may be scary at first, but once you are over that and once you actually hit that realization, you rise in your power and basically you realize how strong and powerful you actually are. And that is something that you can achieve in this new moon. Yes, it's a challenge, as I already mentioned. There are two parallel experiences that we may have, and your message is no exception. So this is that negative experience that you may have, and this is the positive experience that you may have. And it's only up to you to decide which path you want to choose and which way you want to live and think. So, okay, that's it. This is your message. Group number 2, I truly hope that you will stay strong and brave to choose yourself and to choose what's the best for you, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Bye-bye. Hello. This is the message number 3 for all of you who picked pile number 3, and let's have a look at your cards. So you have the 7 of Swords, you have the 6 of Wands, and the lovely flowering card. Okay, so your new moon, and what is your additional message, group number 3? It could be that your challenge for this new moon is to realize that you deserve to own your success and your achievements. What I mean by that is this card, the 7 of Swords, it's a pretty challenging one. And it gives me this feeling that there is something that is very important to you, but it has been stolen or taken away from you. Well, 7 of Swords is usually a card of deception, of betrayal. So sometimes it can be pretty negative and it could point towards pretty toxic and negative influences in your life. But what it also suggests is that there could be some maybe self-delusion or some lies that you may be telling yourself. Because if you are not connected with your own deepest truth, it's actually pretty easy for others to take advantage of you. And your challenge for this upcoming new moon is to understand what it is that you have achieved and what other people have sort of taken away from you. Maybe they are getting the credit for your work. Maybe it is something that you yourself don't allow yourself to have because you feel that you don't deserve that. Coming back to the general message, we spoke about the mind and how it sometimes creates this false reality just by holding on to what it knows. And then we also spoke about those subconscious influences that are kind of flooding in the conscious mind and making it fearful. But you must understand that it is all for the better because what is surfacing is the truth. And sometimes you simply live in accordance to what is familiar to you. And maybe what you have taught yourself and the way you have lived your life is that you kind of don't take credit for your achievements, that you let other people to take that. And you really need to face that. And you must enter this cave where the light is shining. You must go past your fears and discover what's in there. What is it that you have given away? Because again, if we turn around this message, those things are not taken away from you. You yourself have given them away. And now it's time to get them back. Again, you are more powerful and much, much more stronger than you allow yourself to think. And actually, this is a message that is coming up in every reading. You are much stronger than you allow yourself to think. And this month is that time when you realize that. And again, it could be a very scary revelation because people are often afraid of their power. It may sound counterintuitive, but it is often the case because then they need to really go out there and claim things and maybe confront other people and claim their place in the world and really take the prize that they deserve. And sometimes we just don't want to take the prize. We want the prize to be given to us by other people because we want to have this external validation by other people. That is how we feel safe and protected. Again, the mind wants safety over anything else. But here, your challenge is to not expect from other people to give it to you and to do this for you because they won't. They will intuitively feel your weakness and they will take advantage of that. You have to step up for yourself and you really have to claim your rights and what you deserve. Six of Wands is a card of victory and success and being seen by others, being appreciated by others for your achievements, for what you have done, what you have accomplished. But in order for you to be victorious, the first step is that you yourself recognize your own achievements and what you are proud of. You have to align with that feeling of being proud of yourself, of what you have done, what you have achieved. And once you start to value that as important, once you realize how magnificent you are and that you have achieved that, you really own that achievement and it becomes yours. And now you have that strength and you have the guts to claim what you deserve because you know that you have been backed up by this belief that you deserve it. And it's very, very important. You must truly and wholeheartedly believe that you deserve those good things in life. And that takes me to this last card, to the flowering, which I think goes pretty beautifully with this Nine of Coins because there is this flower, this rose here in the artwork of the card, and this is all about blossoming, about flowering, about your beauty and power opening up. And you see, oftentimes when we mention this word power, we think about power in a negative sense. We think about that as something violent or something intrusive, something domineering, something that hurts other people and just disregards the needs of other people. But that is not what true power should feel like. It can be very kind, it can be gentle and sensitive and really caring towards other people. It is about you being authentic, being who you are, and respecting yourself, having that confidence in yourself, and then also showing that respect for other people. And it is very, very powerful. The flowering card is all about manifestation. You attract all the good things that you need in your life. You are able to work together with the universe, and you feel when is the right time to do certain things, and those synchronicities keep happening to you, and basically you become very productive. You set your intention out there, and then you see how it manifests in your life. And it happens easily because you are so beautiful and you feel so good in your own skin that universe cannot help but shower you with all those blessings. You can see all those white flowers falling from the sky into her lap. So she's just sitting there enjoying herself, spreading that beautiful vibe and that loving energy all around, and it's being returned. And it's a really beautiful state of being when you appreciate yourself and when you know what you deserve and when you are not afraid to ask for that. And as I said, not in a domineering or violent way, in a kind but also very firm way, so that you are heard and you are given what you deserve. You take it for yourself. You don't take away from other people. That's another misconception that can sometimes be the case. You think that there is only so much, and in order to have something, you need to take it away from others. That is the mindset of the Seven of Swords. You have to steal things, at least you feel like that you have to steal things away from other people. Or other people need to attack you and steal something from you in order to have something. So you kind of fight over that little piece of something that you all desire. And you are fighting over that and really trying to get it yourself. But what you don't understand is that you don't have to fight over something that you need or desire, because there is plenty of that for everyone. It's only a matter of you to having that realization, to adopting this new belief that actually universe is infinitely abundant and that you can have everything you need without that being taken away from other people, because that is a mindset that prevents you from manifesting the things that you want. You don't deserve things. You need to be very special in some way. You need to show your excellence in some way to deserve things. And if you are not, then you don't deserve them. That is something that must change. You must think differently. So you need that courage to claim what you deserve. But then also remember that it doesn't mean that you take away from other people, that you hurt other people in any way. So if you believe that it is bad to do that and you willingly give your power away to other people just to make sure that others have enough, then please understand that it is not the way it should be. And your challenge for this new moon is to come to that realization, to step into your power, to own your achievements, and to realize that you are already enough. You are beautiful, you are radiant, and you can really attract everything you need. Love yourself. Really love yourself. Learn to love yourself. That is your lesson for this new moon. Okay, so I hope that you found this message helpful, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Take care and bye-bye. Hello and welcome back. So this is the final message, the message number 4 for all of those who picked the last pile of cards. And you have the 3 of Wands. Then you have the 8 of Swords. And you have Consciousness. So what is your message for this new moon? Well, the 3 of Wands suggests that you may be working towards a certain goal with other people. This is pretty much about collaboration and about trying to achieve a common goal. But this other card, the 8 of Swords, it sort of suggests that there may be something off about the dynamics in which you interact in this group and about this relationship as a whole, because you can see here in the artwork of the card, there is this woman and she's blindfolded and she has her hands tied. She's surrounded by the swords and she feels victimized in some way. She feels that she cannot freely walk away from her situation, and there is this feeling of being entrapped. She's stuck in her own head, in her own mind. Swords is all about thoughts and mind. So here we are coming back to the general message and the mind card. This is often what is happening in our minds. We are blindfolded by our thoughts, by that anxiety that we often have going on because we are trying to figure things out. We are trying to take care of our safety. We are trying to predict things and sense any threats that we should be careful about. And it is all going on simultaneously. And it's really hard to have that inner clarity and that inner peace with all this going on up here. And you can see that this person here in the mind card, they are as well blindfolded or blinded by their thoughts. They don't see the reality, they just see that construction in their heads. And this is exactly the case with the 8 of Swords and with this woman here. She cannot see the reality because she's stuck in her own head. And this is where you should ask yourself, group number 4, how are you stuck in your head and what is it that you don't want to see? Because the Thunderbolt card, again, if we go back to the general message, this is all about finding out the truth. And what breaks down is that false perception or that construct that has been built up in our heads. And this is that realization that you must have in the next 28 days for yourself. If you remove the blindfold, what is it that you see around you? What are the actual circumstances? What are the actual resources that are available to you? Oftentimes with the 8 of Swords, we feel that we lack things that we need to move on from a certain situation or to solve a certain problem. In your case, it could be about this relationship and about working towards this common goal or collaborating on this project. So what is it that you are not seeing about this situation? And actually, that is precisely what you should figure out in this new moon, because you have Consciousness card here. It's also about our mind, but this is about a mind that is stepping into its power and is now able to observe the reality for what it is. This is a collaboration with the mind and the higher consciousness. And that is that truth that is flowing in. All the thoughts, all the foggy thoughts and this confusion is passing away, and there is this clarity that is coming. And we finally see things for what they truly are. And with that comes peace. Because maybe we have spent a lot of time feeling anxious and afraid about something, indicated by all those clouds and that fog, that mental fog. We have spent so much time in confusion. It creates that inner struggle because of all those conflicting thoughts, because of all those negative voices in our head, everything that's going on there. But when that noise finally shuts down, and when we finally find out what is that one and only truth that we must focus on, everything becomes still and silent, and we are super clear on what we want, what is going on, and what our action should be. That is that consciousness. And we know that that is the truth because it is not something that we have made up in our minds as a response of fear. This even feels like coming from the outside, coming from our higher selves. We really understand that this is in our interest. This is serving our highest good. So this consciousness card is really about connecting with our highest good. And if we connect with our highest good, we also take into account the highest good of other people. We let the truth rule and we act accordingly. So this may be at first a pretty scary and maybe even painful realization. Something about this relationship, that it's not really the way it looks like or that you have thought about it up to now. Something about that is shifting. Something is moving away, but also remember that other things are coming in. And they can change the dynamics of this relationship in a way that is beyond your imagination, but in a very, very good sense. Again, remember that the general message for this new moon of September 2020 is about that shadow side being integrated, which is the Lover's card, and that is that commitment that you make to yourself. You cannot really love yourself if you allow yourself to be a victim, if you don't want to see the reality for what it is, because then you are always acting from that mindset of being less than. But once you own the reality and once you really see everything that is available to you, then you can start acting in a way that is self-loving. And again, if you think about other people that are involved in this situation, by choosing to act in a loving way towards yourself, you actually also give permission to them to do the same. So there is this balance that is now coming into this interaction. And maybe, just maybe, things start to improving just by having that mindset shift. So indeed, this is your challenge and your lesson for this new moon, group number 4. Remember that things may not be as they seem, and if you find something that you are very afraid of and something that you don't want to deal with, please take your time and try to consider that there is actually some great value to be gained if you move past that fear and if you really understand what it teaches you, and if you find that inner clarity and that peace of mind, which will allow you to move forward in a much better way. Okay, so I think this is it. These are the main things that you should take into account for this new moon of September 2020. And I truly wish you to be brave and really learn to love yourself and invite more of that in your life so that you can love other people as well in a way that they truly deserve. And it is really for the higher good of us all, right? So this is your message, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Take care and bye bye.